Save them till I've turned off the recording. All right, today's date is October 29th, 2021. In Will Barker County, Texas, I call cause number 29262 in the interest of Cambry Devin, or is it Devin?
Devin.
Cambry Devin Lidican. What says the state?
I'm ready, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Coons has announced ready. Present by audio and video is Kylie Schreiber. Are you ready, Ms. Schreiber?
Yes, ma'am.
Also present by audio and video is Caleb Lidican. Are you ready, Mr. Lidican?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, both of you listen carefully. Ms. Coons, would you please announce what you think the parties have made an agreement about?
Yes, Your Honor. It's my understanding that parties are in agreement. There will be a non-disclosure finding as to Ms. Schreiber and the child's information in the court order. That there is an acknowledgement of paternity for this child, and it's my understanding the parties agree that Ms. Schreiber would be the managing conservator with the right to designate the child's residence. Mr. Lidican would be the possessory conservator with visitation that is supervised on the first, third, and fifth Saturday of each month from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. That he will give her 24 hours notice of his intent to exercise visitation. It is my understanding that he has a phone number by which he can give her notice through text message. And then it's my understanding that the parties separated somewhere around mid-February 2021. Retroactive support was calculated for the time period from March 1st, 2021 to present for a retroactive support judgment of $2,872 as of October 29th, 2021. It's my understanding the parties agree that Mr. Lidican will pay that by paying $50 per month toward that judgment. And it's my understanding there's no access at this time to private health insurance or dental insurance for the child at a reasonable cost. And that Ms. Schreiber will be responsible for applying for a government health plan for the child. And Mr. Lidican will pay monthly medical support of $111 per month beginning November 1st, 2021. And guideline child support of $403 per month, also beginning November 1st, 2021. At this time, Mr. Lidican does not have any other minor children that were taken into account.
Okay, and what are the parties in disagreement about? Any issues?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that Ms. Schreiber would like the visitation to happen at her parents' residence, and Mr. Lidican would like the visitation to happen at his parents' residence, or his mother's residence.
Okay. And the visitation is first Friday or first Saturday. Would you repeat that for me?
The first, third, and fifth Saturday of each month from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay. Let's have testimony then on that. And if you will, let's have testimony about the agreement, the parts that they've agreed on as well. You may call your first witness, Ms. Coons.
Your Honor, the state calls Kylie Schreiber.
All right, Ms. Schreiber, would you raise your right hand, please? You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Schreiber. All right, go ahead, Ms. Coons.
Ms. Schreiber, did you hear and understand the terms I announced to the court as the agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
And does that in fact represent what you have agreed to today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you believe that the agreement that you've reached is in Cambry's best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now regarding the visitation, why do you believe it would be in Cambry's best interest for that visitation to take place at your mother's residence?
His parents rarely ask for her, hardly any. My mom gets her all the time when I'm working. We all live in separate towns. And so if I was at work one of the Saturdays, she would be here and he would not be missing a visitation, or he wouldn't be. She would be with her at her house where he can come visit.
Okay. Do you believe, well, first of all, when was the last time Cambry saw her paternal grandmother, Mr. Lidikin's mother?
About a month and a half, 2 months ago, they came to Vernon for his sister's volleyball game, and I took her to see them.
In October.
And does
You'll testify in just a minute and you can clarify that. Go ahead, Ms. Schreiber.
did he ever visit with his parents alone?
No.
Okay. But I believe you testified that she would regularly be with your mother if you were at work on a Saturday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So do you believe that Kylie is comfortable with your mother and at your mother's residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that?
What town does your mother live in?
She lives here in Vernon as well.
Okay.
Do you believe that she would have the same comfort level at Mr. Lidikin's mother's residence?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any safety factors that make you believe it would be best for the visitation to take place at your mother's residence?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else that you believe the court needs to hear from you to help make a determination about where the visitation should take place?
If it was at his mother's, I just don't know how she would get back and forth or meet in the middle.
Okay. And does Mr. Lidikin get along okay with your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
And your mother is willing to have the visitation take place at her residence and have Mr. Lidikin over for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How old is Cambry?
9 months.
Okay. And has there been any history of family violence?
Between Caleb and I?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell the court a little bit about the history with that?
In December, he went to jail for assault of a pregnant person. I was 8 months pregnant at the time of it happening.
With Cambry?
Yes.
Okay. So in December of 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And does he have charges pending against him for that assault?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else that you believe the court needs to hear from you to help make a determination in this case today?
Him being drug tested, because I don't think he would be able to stay clean, and I want him clean if he's having visitation with her.
Okay. Do you believe that there should be some type of restriction that he's not allowed to use alcohol or controlled substances within a 24 hours prior to or during, or 12 hours prior to or during his periods of possession?
Yes.
What do you believe is most appropriate in that regard?
Controlled substance.
A controlled substance within 24 hours?
Yes.
Okay. And you've known Mr. Lidekin to use controlled substances?
Yes.
What type of controlled substances does he use?
Marijuana.
Okay. I pass the witness.
Mr. Lidekin, do you have any questions you want to ask her right now?
I would like to ask if actually no, ma'am, I don't.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else you want me to know, Ms. Schreiber?
No, ma'am.
All right, you may call your next witness.
The state calls Caleb Lidekin.
All right, Mr. Lidekin, would you raise your right hand, please? You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lidekin, did you hear and understand the agreed terms I announced to the court?
Yes, ma'am.
And did those terms represent your agreement today?
Not to a full extent, ma'am, no.
Okay, what part are you disagreeing with?
Just the visitation location, and that's it.
Okay, so you're not agreeing with Ms. Schreiber's request on visitation location, but all of the other terms that I announced to the court are in fact things that you agree with?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you believe that those are in your child's best interests?
No, ma'am. Or yes, ma'am, I do believe it's in my child's best interest. I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you also agree to the court including a restriction that there be no consumption of a controlled substance within 24 hours prior to or during your visitation with your child?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And why do you believe it would be best for the visitation to take place at your mother's residence?
Because in all honesty, I have documentations and proof of my mother reaching out to Kylie and it being no responses, and it'll be responses to stuff that's not prior to my daughter's grandmother to see her. So I that's why I believe that it would be in Cambry's best interest, because that she would get to see her other side of the family more often than hasn't gotten to.
Okay.
Where does your mom live?
Wichita Falls, Texas.
Is there anything?
Where do you live, sir?
I'm now currently in Aubrey, Texas.
Where is that located?
I'm about 20 minutes outside of Denton, Texas.
Okay. So the Wichita Falls would be about halfway for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, it's more than halfway, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. But that's not an issue for me to make those days visitation, all of that.
You have transportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Ms. Kuntz.
Mr. Lidekin, is there anything else you believe the court needs to hear from you today to help make a decision about your case?
Just that I have from even me and Kylie's past issues of family violence and stuff. I have regard since then that I have been clean, which is why I have no issue, and I've actually been doing things and have documentations and proof to that is dealing with my pending case now currently in regards of me being more safe for my daughter. But that's it. I'm in agreement with everything that's been stated, besides just Cambry coming to my mom's house and just the location of the visitation.
Okay. I pass the witness.
All right, anything else you want me to know, Mr. Lidekin?
No, ma'am.
All right. Well, based on the testimony and evidence before me then, I'm approving the parts that you all have agreed to, which include the child support and the Medicaid and the non-disclosure and the managing conservator, possessory conservator, everything on there. And I'm waiving court costs because you all have worked hard to make those agreements today. Regarding the visitation issue, I'm ordering that the visitation shall occur at Ms. Schreiber's mother's home because Cambry is so young right now. She needs to be in an environment that she's familiar with. But I'm going to add the stipulation that the first Saturday of each month, Mr. Lidekin may bring either one or both of his parents for that visitation.
Of course, we agree.
Okay. I'm including that no one is to consume alcohol or controlled substances within 24 hours of the visitation, which you all agreed to. So that Mr. Lidekin, if you're visiting on the first Saturday of the month, you can bring your mom or your dad, and either of the grandparents or both of them. So over to Vernon to do that visitation at Ms. Schreiber's mom. Do you know her address, Mr. Lidekin?
Ms. Schreiber's? No, ma'am. I just know how to get there.
Okay, you do know where it's located. Okay. Ms. Schreiber, after we're done recording, I want you to give Ms. Kuntz your mom's address
Okay.
and number, so that will be included in the order. That and I'm establishing that your mom will be the link between you and Mr. Lidekin. Mr. Lidekin, make sure that the grandma knows your phone number and where you're located. If there's ever an emergency involving Cambry, or if you're coming for visitation and you have a flat tire and you can't make it, or some other last minute emergency comes up, you call that grandma and tell her, I'm running late or I can't make it. I'm sorry, I called to visit and something else has come up. Or if there's an emergency involving Cambry, she's at the hospital or anything like that, that grandma will call you and let you know, okay? And and Ms. Schreiber will keep her informed of anything that's going on, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your mother's name, Ms. Schreiber?
Becky Brown.
Okay. So the person supervising the visitation will be Becky Brown or some other adult that Ms. Schreiber chooses. Any questions, Ms. Kuntz?
Your Honor, I know you want communication through the grandmother regarding the child. Does that also replace the text notice to Ms. Schreiber? Will it be notice to the grandmother instead?
I think that would be better.
Yes, Your Honor.
Or he can text Ms. Schreiber, but I don't want Ms. Schreiber to have to notify about her phone number since there's a history of domestic violence here. Let's get the grandma's phone number as the primary connection. Will that work for you, Ms. Schreiber?
Yes, ma'am. Caleb has her number and her address.
Super. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Ms. Coons is going to prepare that order for my signature. There is a period of 3 business days during which anybody can request a new hearing. If you do that, you get a new hearing on those visitation issues in front of Judge Byrd, and he would hear from you both again and make his own decision. But if nobody requests a new hearing, then my order starts to become final. I'm going to sign it, and you should both get copies either in the mail or by email, so that you'd have a copy of your order. Make sure you get one. If you don't get one, call the Wichita Falls AG's office and remind them to send you one in about 2 weeks if you haven't gotten it by then. Okay?
Okay, and when would visitation start?
I think it's going to start November 6th. That's the first Saturday.
Okay.
And can I get just a rebrief on a new hearing?
Yes, let me tell you those rights again. If you want a new hearing, you just file a paper with the district clerk that says, I want a new hearing in front of Judge Byrd. He would start over and hear from you both again and make his own decision. And that has to be done within, you have to file that within 3 business days from today.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you all and your family and to Cambry. I think we can work this out, but you're free to do what your conscience tells you to do. And Ms. Coons will prepare that order for my signature. We're done for today. Any questions, Ms. Coons?
No, I just need to get that address for the maternal grandmother.
Okay.
The recording.
Ms. Schreiber, hold on and you can give Ms. Coons that information. Thank you so much, Mr. Lidekin. Good luck to you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Schreiber, you can give Ms. Coons that information. Let's get the names of his parents as well.
Okay.
Okay, since they can come on the first Saturday of each month.
Okay, I'm ready.
His mother is Melissa Lidekin. His dad is Brian Lidekin.
Do you know how they spell their first names?
Melissa.
Okay.
And then I think his dad's is Brian.
Okay.
You can just call them paternal grandparents, I guess.
Okay.
We don't sure about the spelling.
And the address for your mother?
1928 Melody Lane, Vernon, Texas 76384.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Schreiber.
Thank you.
Good luck to you and Cambry, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye.
And Ms. Coons, I'm going to end our visit. Thank you so